Certifications aren't the golden ticket to coaching success, but what I'm about to share is. As someone who's made millions coaching, I'm going to show you the 5 pillars that'll catapult your coaching business into the 6 or even 7-figure club, all without spending a dime on certifications. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I recently saw a business that makes $50 million a year certifying life coaches. And I realized that so many people out there think that you have to get certifications in order to become a career coach or a life coach or a business coach. And you absolutely don't. In fact, the most successful coaches I know don't have certifications. And I wasn't always the YouTube guy or a business coach or even a career coach. I started out as a pharmacist thinking that I had it all figured out. Good salary, stable job, and the American dream. Wrong. I quickly realized I was trapped in a career that didn't fulfill me, and I was working insane hours, dealing with angry customers, and barely had time to breathe, all while having a massive amount of student debt hanging over my head. And that's when I stumbled into the world of online business and coaching. And I started small, helping other pharmacy students pass their exams and then become pharmacists, but I quickly realized there was so much more potential. And so I dove headfirst into YouTube, figuring out how to grow a channel and monetize it effectively. And that channel supported my career coaching business. And within a year, I was making more from YouTube and my coaching business than I was as a pharmacist. Now fast forward to now, and I'm running 2 different 7-figure coaching business, and I help other entrepreneurs leverage YouTube to skyrocket their success. And I did it all without a single coaching certification to my name. So let's go over the 5 pillars of successful coaching. And if you master these, you'll be well on your way to building a thriving 6-figure or even 7-figure coaching business. So here's a quick overview of the 5 pillars. Number 1 is expertise development. Number 2 is a results-driven approach. Number 3 is niche mastery. Number 4 is brand building. And number 5 is business scalability. And it's important that you master these in order. So let's go ahead and break each of these down and show you exactly how to implement them in your own coaching business. The first pillar, and arguably the most important, is expertise development. And here's the truth. Clients don't care about your certifications. What they do care about is whether or not you can help them solve their problems and achieve their goals. Let me give you an example. One of my clients, Josh, was working in a soul-crushing job in IT. He had no coaching certifications, but he was passionate about alternative education and helping people get into better careers. And within a year of working with me, Josh was able to quit his IT job and go full-time as a career coach. And he's making as much as $180,000 a month. Now, the key here is to focus on your unique experiences and the results you've achieved for yourself. What have you overcome? What skills have you developed? Those are the building blocks of your expertise. And the easiest way to start a successful coaching business is just help the previous version of yourself. And when people hear the word expertise, they think that they have to be a 10 out of 10 in order to help people, but that's not true. If you're a 3 out of 10, you can help 1 out of 10s. If you're a 7 out of 10, you can help 3 out of 10s. And of course, if you're a 10 out of 10, you can help 7 out of 10s. But oftentimes, 3 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 are actually better at helping 1 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 than a 10 out of 10 would be. Why? Because people who are world-class expert 10 out of 10 at a subject don't even remember what it was like to be a newbie or an intermediate. They were probably newbies, 15 or 20 years ago, and intermediates maybe 5 or 10 years ago. So it can be very difficult for them to actually help a newbie get to an intermediate or a master level. Now, here's some quick tips for developing your expertise. Identify your area of passion or the problem that you've overcome. Document your own journey and the strategies that worked for you. Start sharing this information freely through content, social media, etc. And as you help others and get results, document those case studies. And continuously learn and stay up to date in your field. And remember, expertise isn't about knowing everything. It's about being one step ahead of the people you're helping and constantly striving to learn more. So for instance, Mr. Beast is more of an expert on growing on YouTube than I am. However, I'm significantly better at helping people grow on YouTube than Mr. Beast is. Why? Because not everyone wants to get hundreds of millions of views. A lot of people just want to get a reasonable amount of views and make a full-time income with YouTube, which is completely different than Mr. Beast's content strategy. The second pillar of successful coaching without certification is adopting a results-driven approach. And this is where you really separate yourself from the sea of certified coaches who may have the papers but can't deliver real-world results. So let me share a story about one of my clients, Nicole. Nicole had 0 formal coaching credentials, but what she did have is experience getting into cybersecurity as a woman. Now, if you don't know anything about cybersecurity, there are very few women who work in cybersecurity, but there's a huge demand for it. And cybersecurity jobs pay incredibly well, sometimes over $200,000 a year. And when she first came to me, she only had about 85 subscribers on YouTube, and she basically had 0 clients. And after working with me, she got all the way up to over $85,000 per month, and she's now helped countless women get into cybersecurity, all without a single certification. And here's how you can implement a results-driven approach in your coaching. 1, clearly define the specific measurable outcomes of your coaching. 2, develop a step-by-step process or framework that consistently produces these results. 3, document case studies and testimonials that showcase these outcomes. 4, offer some form of guarantee or assurance of results. I will note here that be careful with this and make sure that you can actually deliver, because it is a two-way street. The other person does have to put effort in order for the guarantee to work. And then 5, focus your marketing on the end results, not your credentials or the process. And remember, results speak louder than any certification. Literally just one testimonial is going to be much more powerful than the best certification in the world. And when you can consistently deliver transformative outcomes for your clients, they'll become your biggest advocates and marketing assets. Now, the third pillar of building a successful coaching business without certification is niche mastery. And this is where so many aspiring coaches go wrong. They try to be everything to everyone, and they end up resonating with no one. And here's the truth. The riches are in the niches. And by focusing on a specific niche, you can become the go-to expert in that area, command higher prices, and attract your ideal clients much more easily. Now, let me give you an example from my own journey. When I first started out, I was trying to help everyone get jobs in just about every different career. And that was after I'd switched from just helping people get pharmacy jobs, but then I realized that I wasn't very passionate about pharmacy and I didn't actually want more people to go into it. And so I just switched to careers in general. And not only did I have a crazy hard time getting people results because every different career is a bit different, but every single client I onboarded was like reinventing the wheel, and it definitely wasn't scalable, and I wasn't able to charge nearly as much. And it wasn't until I niched down to focus specifically on helping people get remote jobs in specific types of careers that are in demand that I started finding some real success. Suddenly, I wasn't just another career coach, I was the guy when it came to getting a remote job for in-demand careers. And this level of specificity allowed me to create highly targeted content, develop deep expertise in my niche, and attract exactly the kind of clients I want to work with. And within months of niching down, my income more than tripled. So how can you find and dominate your perfect niche? Well, here's a quick process. 1, identify your passions and your strengths. 2, research market demand, like are people actively looking for solutions in this area? 3, analyze the competition. Is there room for you to stand out? 4, define your unique angle or approach, right? How do you actually differentiate yourself from the competition? And 5, test and validate your niche with real clients. Let me share another client success story to illustrate this. One of my clients, Joaquin, when he first came to me, he was kind of just a general productivity and study coach, and he was making content that was basically exactly the same as everyone else. And when we looked into his past and what he'd done and the things that he'd accomplished, we realized that he was a foreign exchange student who got into an elite Ivy League university. And so obviously after identifying that, we changed his offer to helping foreign students get into elite Ivy League universities. And all of a sudden his business absolutely blew up and he got to over $85,000 a month. And all of this he was able to do while he was still in college. So he was making more than anybody at his university while he was a student. And this change in niche allowed Mark to speak directly to the pain points and aspirations of students that were trying to get into these universities, leverage his past experience and establish instant credibility, create highly targeted content that resonated with his ideal clients, and command premium prices due to his specialized expertise. And remember, niching down doesn't limit your opportunities. It expands them by making you the obvious choice for a specific group of people. And in the future, Joaquin can always expand to helping students in general get into Ivy League universities. And then maybe he expands later on to helping students get into universities in general, and he has a lower level product. But right now, he is the absolute king of his puddle. And that puddle is very lucrative. The fourth pillar of building a successful coaching business without certification is brand building. And in today's digital age, your personal brand is your most valuable asset. It's what sets you apart from the competition and allows you to attract clients even while you sleep. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I was just another face in the crowd, but I made a commitment to consistently create valuable content that addressed specific pain points for my target audience. For instance, on this channel, my target audience is coaches, course creators, and agency owners, as well as YouTubers that are having trouble monetizing. And all of these people want to leverage YouTube for business growth. And if you want to do that yourself, by the way, go ahead and schedule a call with myself or my team in the description and the pinned comment below. And I didn't focus on getting everything perfect. Instead, I focused on being consistently helpful. I shared my own journey, my successes, my failures, and the lessons that I learned along the way. I was authentic, transparent, and always focused on providing value. In fact, the first month on this channel, I made $30,000 in 30 days, and most of my videos were uploaded using Loom. I didn't use any fancy equipment on purpose because I wanted to show people that you can make money without having a fancy setup. And the result, like I said, my channel made over $30,000 in just the first 30 days of starting it. So how can you start building your brand even if you're starting from scratch? Well, here's a simple process. Define your brand personality. How do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as a 10 out of 10 expert, or maybe a 3 out of 10 that can get 1 out of 10s to that 3 out of 10 level? Then identify your core message. What's the main thing you want to be known for? On this channel, I'm all about turning YouTube into a business. That means operationalizing it so you're not spending like 80 hours a week doing it, and properly monetizing, because 99% of YouTubers are absolutely terrible at monetizing YouTube correctly. 3, choose your primary content platform. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. I highly recommend YouTube being your primary platform. It's by far the most powerful one. Then 4, create a content calendar. Commit to consistent content creation. I recommend at least 1 day per week for YouTube, and ideally 3 days per week is kind of the sweet spot. And then 5, engage with your audience. Get feedback from them, build relationships with them, answer their comments, and figure out what type of content resonates with them the most. This also involves analyzing the data on your channel as well. Plus, every time someone gets on a call with you, that's basically you getting paid to do market research. And remember, building a strong personal brand takes time, but it's one of the most powerful ways to attract high quality clients without needing any formal certifications. And your brand basically becomes your certification, and it's 100 times more powerful than a normal cert. And by the way, guys, I know people who sell high ticket products and services that only get about 100 views per video, and yet they're making 7 figures a year. I know one guy that gets about 500 views per video and he makes $10 million a year. So you don't need to get that many views in order to make a lot of money if you're talking to the right audience. Now, the 5th and final pillar of building a successful coaching business without certification is business scalability. This is where you transition from being a coach to a true entrepreneur. Now, many coaches get stuck in the trap of trading time for money, and they're constantly hustling for the next client, and their income is limited by the number of hours in the day. But to build a truly successful and sustainable coaching business, you need to think beyond one-on-one coaching. Now, when I first started coaching, I was doing everything one-on-one, just like anybody else. And I was making good money, but I was working long hours and I constantly felt on the verge of burnout. And I realized if I wanted to impact more people and increase my income without sacrificing my lifestyle, I needed to scale. So here's what I did. 1, I created a group coaching program. 2, I developed an online course that taught the most important things and covered the frequently asked questions. 3, I built a team to handle operations and client support. And 4, I implemented systems and processes to streamline everything. And the result, I was able to 10x my income while actually working fewer hours. And more importantly, I was able to impact far more people than I ever could with just one-on-one coaching. So how can you start scaling your coaching business? Well, here's a quick process. 1, document your coaching process. What are the key steps that your clients take to get results? 2, identify aspects of your coaching that could be delivered in a group setting. 3, create scalable offerings like group coaching, courses, and membership sites. 4, develop systems and processes to automate and delegate. And 5, build a team to support your growth. And believe it or not, you can actually get better results for people when you build a team and you do a group coaching model than if you're just doing things one-on-one. And one of the main reasons for this is because it's much easier to get better at something if you're doing it with a group of other people who are also doing the same thing. Think about just about anything you've ever gotten good at in your life. Maybe it was piano or some kind of sport. You probably did it with a group of people. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's the most effective way of learning. And remember, scalability is what turns a coaching practice into a coaching business. Now let's talk about the hidden 6th pillar that basically ties everything else together. It's so powerful and frankly so misunderstood that I only share this with my high-level clients. But I'm gonna go ahead and share it in this video. So the 6th pillar is what allows you to charge premium prices. It's also what allows you to overcome client objections with ease and build unshakable confidence in your abilities, even without a formal certification. And unfortunately, I can't share all the details here, but what I can tell you is that it has nothing to do with fancy marketing tactics or pushy sales techniques. Instead, it's about fundamentally shifting how you view yourself and your value as a coach. And if you want to learn more about the 6th pillar and get my complete training on building a 6-figure coaching business without certification, then go ahead and book a call with us down in the description and the pinned comment below. And this sixth pillar is all about positioning yourself as the premium product or service in your marketplace. And by the way, if you haven't checked it out already, I did do a video on how you can properly monetize YouTube, and you can check that out by clicking right here.